Good morning. It's about 7 in the morning out here. I wanted to drop a little nugget on you right quick about buyers and what type of properties you're searching for or what type of properties you're not searching for. All right. So, everybody out here tells you, go find abandoned properties, look for properties that are boarded up and all that other stuff. Well, as a contractor, whoops, hope y'all ain't got a headache from that. Damn, messed it up. There we go. Um, as a contractor for many, many years, I've done multiple remodels, new builds. I've built neighborhoods, all kind of good stuff. And I've done every type of remodel job, just about commercial, residential, the smallest job, framing out little closets to full house remodels, inside and out, top to bottom, all the way down to the studs. And sometimes replacing exterior walls, jacking up the roof, or jacking up the whole house. I've jacked a house up 16 feet off the ground and replaced the whole foundation underneath it. And that was crazy. So anyway, as a contractor and now as a real estate investor, I keep, I've been hearing for 2 years or whatever, as long as I've been doing this, to go out and find abandoned properties and contact the owner and get it under contract and then try to find buyers for it, right? So I did that. And what I found was, for one, that it's damn near impossible to get in contact with the owners of abandoned properties. And I'm going to tell you probably some of the reasons why. One is the house has been vacant for, 10 years, 20 years, whatever. Um, and I'm going to tell you why this strategy is stupid. But the first reason why it's hard to get in contact with the owners is because they've been marketed to by a gazillion people. So they've been marketed to by landscapers for years, painters, window companies, siding companies, roofing companies, real estate companies, investors, agents, all that type of stuff. They've probably been hit from notes and stuff from the city about cutting your grass, et cetera, et cetera. So they've been marketed to by dozens of different types of companies for years. So they probably most likely have already switched the mailing address for that property to somewhere where they don't even check the mail, post office box or whatever. So that's one reason why your postcards or your letters or whatever is going to be hard to get in contact with the owner. And they probably have already cut off the phone number that's associated with that property. So my results trying to land abandoned properties, uh, trying to contact the owners was null. Like, it wasn't. I probably got in touch with one out of several hundred, if that. I don't even think I have got in contact with an abandoned property owner. A true abandoned property has been sitting there for a long time. And now I'm going to tell you why, as a contractor, if I was a buyer, I'm going to tell you why abandoned properties is stupid. It's not a good lead source. And here's why. So if you put yourself in the shoes of a buyer, right? Let's say you're a flipper, okay? You're, whether you're a contractor and you want to start flipping houses, whatever. Let's say you come across a wholesaler that's got a hookup with uh, got a contract on an abandoned property that's been abandoned for 10 or 20 years, right? So let's say you get the property for 10 grand. Woohoo, that's a good deal, right? Maybe not. So now with abandoned property and the amount of rehab you have to do on a abandoned property that's been abandoned for 10 years or more is extensive. It's pretty much everything. All new HVAC, you got to gut the whole thing first off. All new HVAC system, all new plumbing, all new electric, probably have to put in a whole new meter and a whole new electrical panel. All new plumbing and probably including the sewer line and or a septic system, depending on what it has. That right there, you're looking at 40 grand just for that. No doubt about it. All new duct work. Then you also have to deal with the inspectors, the architects, approving the plans and drawing up the plans. You got to deal with all the inspectors, which everybody that's in construction knows the inspectors are dicks. And most likely, you have to deal with all the permits and the permit office and all the subcontractors that are doing all this different types of work for you. You got to deal with all your laborers if you got a crew, payroll. You got to deal with managing and obtaining all of the materials that you're going to need to rehab this house. You got to put on a totally new interior in the house, all new siding, all new windows. Siding, maybe not, but probably if you're trying to update the house and put it on the market and get like retail rates. Probably have to put in all new siding, all new windows for sure, all new roof. Probably most likely on an abandoned property, there's some unknowns hidden in there that you're going to run into. So you might have to run into some termites, or you might run into carpenter ants, or you might run into some gnarly mold, or you might run into some foundation issues, whatever. Zoning issues, maybe the zoning has changed in that area over the years. So if you got a good experienced crew that you've been doing flips for other people or whatever for a while, and y'all got the deal, you got it down. You know what you're doing. Everybody knows what they're doing. You're not figuring stuff out as you go. This is if you're a contractor and you got like a legit construction crew, remodel crew. It's probably gonna take you about 9 months to totally rehab an abandoned property. No doubt about it. And that's if everything goes right. That's if you don't have any hiccups. That's if all the subcontractors show up on time. That's which never happens. That's if nothing gets delayed, everything goes perfect the way it's supposed to and never does. Okay, 9 months. During this 9 months, you're not making 1 cent. You haven't brought in $1. You've spent $100 to $150,000 gutting and redoing this property for 9 months. All you've done is just hemorrhage cash. Okay. So now you're $160,000 into this property, sometimes more depending on the size of the house and where it is, you know. So you've been spending $100 to $150,000 like water, just burning through money for 9 months, not making a dime. And now because you went through all that stress, that's a lot of stress, man, doing all that type of work and managing all that. And then because taking such a big risk, investing all that money into this little old crappy house. Now you got to get the most return for your investment. So you put it on the MLS. The realtor's probably gonna lie to you and tell you it's worth more than what it is, which is pretty damn typical. And then it's gonna sit on the MLS for 3 to 6 months. If you're lucky, only 3 months. And and then everybody's gonna beat you down on price to get you come back down to reality, and you might make 70 grand. And then so you sitting on this property for damn near a year, sometimes longer, to get it done and get your money back and get all that money that you spent. You need to get that back. Plus, you need to make your profit worthwhile for your time investment and your risk investment, right? So they're gonna beat you down on price and finally get you come down to reality, and you're gonna sell the house, and then you got to pay the realtor probably 20, 25 grand total with closing costs. You got to pay for, um, all the taxes, dude. Short-term capital gains. It's gonna kill you. You might walk away with 45 grand. That is not an intelligent investment strategy at all. I wouldn't do that. I mean, when you think, oh yeah, these people out here flipping just like HGTV, that is not life. That is not real life. That is all for show. So that being said, if you find anybody that's trying to buy abandoned properties and do total guts on them, they're probably just a big fan of doing that type of work. They do it because they love it, because they already have a successful, active construction company with a construction crew that's legitimate, and they've been working together a while and they all know the drill. Um, they've already got all their subcontractors they've been working with for years, like we got, and and or they just like doing it, and they got money. They don't need the money. The return on the investment isn't that great for all that type of work. That's a lot of work, dude. That's a lot of stress. Lots. Dealing with all that, managing all that, handling all that, spending all that. That's not a smart investment tactic. And so, and truth be told, everybody that's in real estate investing, that's a cash buyer or whatever, they're not all trying to be a contractor, man. Think about it. How many flippers do you know? How many legit flippers have you known in your life before you got into real estate? Maybe one or two. If you're lucky, that's about all you know. Now, how many people do you know that know people that rent properties, that rent houses? How many landlords have you known? You probably known more landlords than you have rental properties, or I mean flippers. So the ratio of your buyers list that you're building and the people that you're shopping for houses for, the majority of them want to live the American dream. They want to buy 5 houses, 10 houses, 20 houses, and not have to work no more. That's the American dream. The American dream is not flipping houses for 30 years until you kill yourself, right? Whether you die of a heart attack from stress or you get a bad deal and lose your ass and then you can't do flips anymore, or just work yourself to death, dude. Like paying all that taxes and dealing with all that stress, like that's not a viable investment strategy in my opinion for somebody who's trying to build a company. Okay, that's okay if you got your shit already set up and everything, and you've been killing it for a while, doing construction, remodeling, whatever, and you got money. Okay, but for somebody trying to build a flipping business, that is not a viable strategy. Okay, to be buying abandoned properties. So, key points, everybody's trying to be a landlord. That's the people you're shopping for. 95% of your buyers are landlords. So you need to be shopping for landlord properties. And landlords are not trying to be doing full gut jobs so they can rent a house and make, 8 to 10% back every month. These flippers and these buyers, they're out, and these landlords, they're out here looking for properties. Lipstick flips is what we call them. They're looking for properties that they can, slap a new roof, get the roofer guys out here, slap a roof on it, uh, you know, paint the inside, maybe paint the outside, replace a couple windows, put new countertops in, shine up the floors, right? Maybe replace a shower insert or something like that, and get it back on the market in 30 days or less. They want to get their money back in 30 to 60 days, right? And they can make 25 to $40,000, and they can have that done in 30 to 60 days. They can get their money back. They're looking for lipstick flips. They're looking for minimal investment, and it's okay. They're okay with paying 30, 40, $50,000 if they only got to put 20, 30 into it, and they can get their money back in 30 to 60 days. That's a legitimate strategy. If you're an investor and you're intelligent, that's the type of houses you're looking to get. You're not looking for these old broke down houses that's going to damn near kill you to get your money back off of it, and then you're going to get beat up on the end. They want to do lipstick flips, and landlords want to go in there, get the roof done, put the countertops in, paint the cabinets, whatever, shine up the floors, and get a tenant in there in 30 days or less, and start making their money back. Start getting that residual income, that mailbox money. So you got to think like a buyer, man. If you're going to be out here looking for houses to wholesale to people, you got to think like a buyer, okay? And I'm gonna drop another video on how to think like a seller, not for the buyer. You don't want to think for the buyer or for the seller, but you want to think, if I was one, what would I be looking for? And doing all that work on an old dusty ass abandoned property, that is not what you're looking for, player. You looking for lipstick flips. It don't matter if they're empty or not. People move when people sell houses. That's just part of life. Somebody buys my house, I'm gonna move. That's how it is. Shit. So that's a misconception that you learning out here, that all the houses you're looking for got to be empty. That's not true. I wholesale houses all the time. They got people in it. It's a little bit easier if they're vacant, but vacant is not the same as abandoned. Okay? Abandoned is when you got crackheads living in there and the toilet's overflowing with shit, right? You got raccoons living up in there and the whole roof fell in. That's abandoned. Vacant just means nobody's currently living there. Okay? So think about those things when you're out here looking for properties, you driving for dollars, whatever. Vacant's okay, but it doesn't matter if somebody lives in the house or not. It doesn't matter if it's currently rented. It doesn't matter if the owner lives in there, owner occupied. It does not matter. It might add a couple little extra steps when you're showing your buyers to it, and a couple more little creative ways to put things when you're explaining what you do to these people. But um, you know, you're not looking for abandoned properties, dude. That's not good. And all you people out here looking for abandoned properties and struggling to get a deal, getting a deal every 3, 4, 5 months, that's why. Nobody wants them abandoned properties. Anybody that's intelligent, that's an intelligent investor and has experience, they're not looking for that crap. Plus, do you think your buyer's not driving around looking for houses to buy just like you are? You think they ain't seen that property with the boarded up windows? You think they ain't drove by there yet? You think they ain't ever tried to contact those people? If they have, they were unsuccessful. That's why it's still abandoned. Or they don't want that joint. They don't want that old raggedy ass property because it's too much work. It's too big a risk. It's too much investment. It's too long a time with your money out there before you even start getting any money back. It's too much stress. It's not worth it. It's not a legitimate, intelligent investment strategy. Okay? So stop listening to this bullshit where you're out here looking for abandoned properties because that is not the main lead source when you're wholesaling. You know what the main lead source is? Houses that are easily flipped and easily rented. That's your lead source. Okay. Stuff that's rentable. You're not looking for 6 bedroom, 4.5 bathroom houses. You looking for everyday average American houses that look like it could be a legitimate rental property and there could be some return on investment there, right? So you're looking for medium sized 3 bedroom houses, 2 bedroom houses are great rental properties. Uh, Anything in an area where there's a school is a great rental market. Colleges, any school, grade schools, junior high schools, you know, that type of stuff. So just keep that in consideration when you're out here shopping for houses, driving for dollars. Think like a buyer. What would I want to buy? Not what you would want to live in. Okay, that's another problem that I had and a lot of people had when they first start out is they're looking for houses that they like. Oh man, that's a dope house. I'd love to live in there. No, you're not looking for what you like. You're looking for what makes money. Okay, what can I? What's a legitimate property that looks legit enough to where if I could get it cheap, I could throw a tenant in there and make a couple $100 or more a month. What house doesn't need a shit ton of work? That's the type of stuff you're looking for. So think like a buyer. Pretend you're a buyer in your mind. What am I looking for? It's okay if I pay 50 grand for it if I can make 30 grand in 30 days or 60 days. That's a good ass deal. So anyway, I'm the Savage Investor. Check that joint out. Subscribe, share this YouTube channel with people, and follow that joint all over social media. The Savage Investor. Adios, baby. Go kill something.